I'll edit it out. So, and again, you're from,
I was born in Mobile, Alabama.
but you're in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, man. Let's get it going, man. So I'd like to welcome to the Process of Hip Hop, originally from Mobile, Alabama, now in the ATL, Georgia. Wordsmith, what's going on, my G?
Hey, man, doing good, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm doing great, man. I'm so glad you were able to join the show.
Oh, man, hey, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Mike Cofield linked us up, man. So I was eager to meet you, brother. So it's a pleasure, man. It's all mine.
Yeah, big shout out to my man Mike Cofield too, man, in Atlanta. So Wordsmith, man, tell me about, man. Let's get it going. But I want to start with, man. Tell me about your background and how you got interested in pursuing hip hop.
Oh, man, it's like the greatest story ever told, man. I started as writing poetry, man, when I was like in third grade. And my grandfather told me I need to put it towards music, man. And I've been in love with hip hop basically all my life, man. And my mom, she joined the army to get me out of Mobile. We went to Germany right away. That was the first time I stepped into a studio, man. Like I was around 14, 15 when the wall came down over there, I just been killing balls ever since, you know what I mean? And grew up around gospel music, soul music, you know what I mean? Al Green, Billie Holiday, the whole shebang. And the music always been a big part of my life, man. I just love words, man. That's what the wordsmith comes from, man.
Yeah, it's a dope name too.
Yeah, going to Germany at an early age, man, and seeing how other people live and then just traveling all over the United States, being a military brat, I got to see the good, bad, and the ugly,
Mm-hmm.
I just put all that into my music.
I always feel like, man, you can't be. This is me, my personal opinion. It's hard for you to be an MC if you can't appreciate music. Period. You can't just be I always think that the best MCs are music people. They love all kinds of music and they understand music. And then the other thing that you said that's interesting, man, is your background, or you have a poetry.
Right.
Poetry was something that you did. The two go hand in hand, poetry and hip hop, and the African American oral tradition, man, of poetry is so deep in our culture, man. So I always think it's important for people you got to understand poetry, and if possible, do some poetry, man. Some of the great MCs definitely do that. So when you always were around hip hop, what was the point in time, man, where you felt that you were going to pursue this seriously? Because there's a lot of hip hop heads.
Right.
What made you say, I think I want to pursue this as an MC?
Oh, man, when I heard What the album, Redman was telling everybody how to roll a blunt, man.
Oh, yeah.
I used to get those tapes, those cassettes, they had the singles on them.
Yes.
I would put that in a small little recorder and put that on top of my stereo, and I would record myself on the instrumental. You know what I'm saying? Redman, Cool G Rap, Too Short. I was Radio Raheem walking through the neighborhood with a big radio. You know what I'm saying? Back in Ice Cube and Too Short and Too Live Crew, man,
Right.
So when I moved to Oklahoma, man, my mom was stationed in Fort Sill. I met some brothers that really challenged me. Those real hard with that pen and pad, man, and we would do shows every week. You know what I mean? And this guy named Fredo from Houston, Texas, man, he heard me rapping one day, and he said he had a dream about me, man. We was at the Grammys, man, and he said, "I'm gonna sing for you." I was like, "Yeah, man, I heard it before." And then, like about a month later, he sent for me from Oklahoma to Houston. I was rapping in Houston all the time. He paid me like $600 for every verse. I was just 17, man, and that was my thing. I was still doing my thing with my folks, man, but I was really, just doing shows, be a ghostwriter, So back in 94, man, was really, really, I said, man, this for me, and I've signed a lot of indie deals since then. My first deal was a blank contract because the guy he was with my organization and he loved me, and he said, we'll do that later. Gave me $25,000 and said, we'll support that out. But that was my first deal, and I haven't stopped. It left a sour taste in my mouth, man. But every time I get with somebody, like they take the kindness for weakness, and they see the talent, but they want to just eat off.
Yeah. And that's the bad part. One of the bad parts about the industry, unfortunately, man. So would you consider yourself, man? Have you done ghostwriting, man, for other MCs, or would you consider yourself that?
I have, man. When I was in Dallas, man, I used to go to 97.9 and I would rap and do the freestyle thing, man, every week. And they retired me, man. And before Lil Flip got his $22 million deal, man, I was in his crib in Houston with Hip Hop Nonstop TV, you know, and South Park Mexican before he, you know, went to jail. And the guy who seen one day you hear, the next day you're gone. So I've written for a few people, man, and I'm really the epitome of what a ghostwriter is. You know, I'd like to stay behind the scenes, and I pimped that pen for a lot of people, man, but I never really was on Front Street with it until I met Cujo Gooding, man, like last year. He was the first cat that was on that level to say, hey, man, I appreciate your talent. It's not going to cost you nothing. You know, I'm going to share my platform with you. I'm going to put you on, and you're going to eat without, you know, paperwork, just a handshake, just real trill, the first out of all the millionaires I ever met in my life. And I've been rocking with him since then, man. So fast forward 20 years later, I never stopped grinding. I never gave up the love. I dropped like 8 records in 1 year. And now I'm on Feed the Line Volume 2. I'm single. I got producers in Germany working with me. And this is happening. You know what I'm saying? This is like a dream come true, man, to do this, talk to a brother, man, and let people know my story, man. I've been through the good, bad, and ugly. Like, and everybody who I meet, I make sure they paperwork right. If they don't know about publishing, I help them for no charge. They copyright everybody because they ain't gonna go through what I went through. You know what I'm talking about? So I think I was the sacrificial lamb in essence to suck it up and show people, man, it's real people out here, and you can just keep going and just believe in yourself and don't stop. Apply pressure till they can't breathe, you know.
Do you see yourself as, I mean, now, you know, you've been in the game for a while, man, so you see yourself as a mentor to some of these other younger cats?
I do, man, I do it, and that's just to piggyback on what you asked me. I do consider myself as a ghostwriter / producer because I just started making beats because of COVID. Yeah. And I said, well, I can do it too, but I got multiple producers. But I do consider myself as a mentor, man. I embrace the younger generation, versus like young and old. It's a blood sport, man, and who else gonna teach them? I mean, you could teach them how to fish. You ain't gotta just give them, show them how to fish, but don't tax them. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, take it to the grave with. Give them the game and show them how to tie their laces up and let them run with it so they can pass it on to the next person. You know. So that's what I'm about, man. I want to create a bunch of mini me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, you know, when I was listening to your music, man, I heard a lot of different influences, man. But you talked about, you know, again, Redman obviously being, when you talk about wordsmith, he's a wordsmith, you know,
right?
Definitely.
Right.
And who were some of the other people that you felt like really influenced your style, man?
Man,
Who were some of the other MCs?
I mean, being from the South, man, of course, you know, Goody Mob, Outkast, E40 like my number one rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, man, it's like the wordplay, like even when he was in Grambling, you know, I used to go down to Ruston, Louisiana with Carl Malone, and he told me I was just too clean. Yeah. And I don't know what happened with that, but E40, man, you know, Rick Rock, you know, the Cosmic Slop Shop, you know, the Loonies.
Yes.
You know, Ice Cube, Fuji Rap.
Yeah.
Teachers, man. I mean, the list goes. I'm a hip hop junkie. Rakim, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so many, man. From like UGK, like Pimp C and Bun B. That's a big influence. Yes. You know what I mean? I can't forget that. The Third Coast, man. And I really grew up on that. You know, everything they talked about. Me and my folks live, not to glorify, but you can relate to it. But definitely UGK, man. Ghetto Boy, stuff like that, man. It's just so many to name, man. I think the greatest story ever told, the book that I'm coming up with, is gonna definitely pinpoint a lot of this, man, in it, you know, about that big gumbo, man. But E40, that's like my number one rapper, though. You know what I'm saying? Because his voice go up and down, man. And it's in me.
Yeah, he, you know, he's influential in so many ways. One of the ways I think that I always respected him so much for was he didn't sign a record deal right out the gate, man. He took a long time. He really was doing self-distribution for a long time before he actually signed with a Jive, I believe, Jive Records, and he signed with them on his own terms too. You know, he wasn't just trying to take the first record company handout that came around. He was definitely an industry businessman, I'll say, doing it on his own. And then not to mention his lyrical skills, man, his delivery, his content. I mean, E40 is just influential, man. Now, you had said something, man, as far as, being from the South. And I had actually posted this, man, on a few weeks back on my podcast, man, as far as like, I remember Outkast, man. You and I about the same age, man. And I remember when Outkast came on the scene at the time, Southern hip hop, man, was like, it just didn't get that much respect, especially I'm talking about that early 90s. Southern hip hop was for the most part, man, you had kind of like Scarface, if you really consider Texas the South, but it's like Scarface was kind of like one of your popular MC, and that was it. You really didn't have, Outkast, Goody Mob, obviously, Organized Noise, man, them, they pushed Southern hip hop to that next level, man. But I always think it's interesting because, Big Boy and Andre 3000, they have a Southern hip hop style, but the one thing that's very common to other areas is they have lyrical content that is of a high caliber. So it's like, it don't matter where you're from if you have that. It's almost like hip hop requires you to have the bar is very high on lyrical content, delivery. So it don't matter where you're from. If you have those things, you typically are going to be, successful, especially when you look at, your a Cool G Rap, a Nas, a Big. I mean, they all have that in common. So I think it's interesting that you were saying that. Now, do you, as far as now, you're talking about you're working on a book. Elaborate a little bit on that, man. What's the book going to be about?
Well, it's basically going to be about my story from beginning to end, man, about the music, the quote unquote street life. My middle daughter, she's 21. She's a writer, she's a creative, and she wants to write it. So we've been working on it, man. So, people always ask me like, why you not out yet, man? You fly. I've been hearing that all my life, but I'm a believer as well, not to be philosophical, man, but they do say the best for last, and everybody got their time, you know what I mean? So, and I put it on me because I made the deals with the wrong people. And I don't blame them because I allowed them in my life, and I put that on me. You know what I'm saying? First time, shame on you, yeah, but I allowed that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to rap. I didn't think about the business part. You understand? So to tell people like, hey man, never give up. You have pitfalls in life. Everybody has choice. But the greatest story ever told, a lot of people remember that to the Bible, the Quran, or whatnot. But I feel like, man, I think therefore I am that deal. So I want to let people know, man, this is the greatest story ever told, man. Resilience. And here I am, right? Still on Front Street with my chest out. People are like, wow, he dope. I'm like, everybody in my circle, we know that, but I'm a humble king, but I want to show people, never give up, keep pushing through. There's nothing new under the sun, but we got a story that's similar to a lot, but it's very unique. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and I just want to let people know, man, this is the greatest story ever told, and I am the truth. What they say, the best known secret, I'm the best kept secret.
Yeah. So you as far as next steps, man, what are you going to be working on, man? I know we in this COVID situation, and so you got a lot of people just at home, man, grinding and trying to produce music and such. But what is your next project, man? What would you like to work on next?
Oh man, after this Feed the Lions, man, I want to put out an album called what's it called? Not something like that. It's whatever's clever, and I'm recording like 5 songs a day, brother. I got the mic sitting right next to me. I told my bro in Dallas, I said, hey man, I want to record at least one a day. He said, why don't you record at least 5? So I'm recording 5 songs a day. I got about 300 since COVID hit. And the clip loaded, man. So I'm putting out a single or 2 every month. You know, I've been doing it for the last 3 months. So $100 hit like 16,000 organically, man, off the muscle. You know, we have a small limited budget, but this album after album, man, and hopefully me and Gun Club Goody, man, gonna get this EP out, a 7-song EP, man. You know, it's on the tuck, but you know, he mentioned it to me. We ain't even capping the riding coattails, but that's gonna be real big because that's somebody I looked up to as well, you know, growing up. So just a little bit more features, man, for me. Instead of playing the back, I'm gonna be on Front Street a little bit more. You know, just a lot of features come. I got features up with Soko for sure on the West Coast, Long Block Fest, you know, in Philly. Limbo Child, we just did one called Can I? And I have maybe like 2 or 3 with her. She reminds me of like Jill Scott. She's a real dope talent, man. And she's like, you know, somebody needs to really pay attention to what she's doing, man. She's on social. She's a pretty dope talent. She sing, produce. She actually arranged the last song Can I we did for Big Floyd. You know, my homeboy used to play basketball with Big Floyd in Houston. Yeah. So it's a real small circle. I know him as Big Floyd because of the SUC, you know, the screwed up Click Soldiers United page. But make a long story short, man, I'm just putting out records, but that Whatever's Clever gonna be a cold album. I'm thinking about doing a trilogy where I have 3 albums, but it's gonna be the docu-series to the greatest story ever told. You understand? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have 3 albums, the DVD. I'm gonna have everything. You can buy them individually because it's gonna be past, present, and future. You can buy the past CD, you can buy the present, or you can buy the future CD. So I'm gonna have a trilogy. It's called Past, Present, and Future, the greatest story ever told, man.
So what's the best way, man, for people to stay in contact with you, man? Because you got so much going on, man. So what's the best way for people to stay on top of what you're doing and when you're going to be releasing your next joint?
I mean, the best way to do it, man, is look at Instagram, and that's wordsmith_Inc. INC. So that's wordsmith_Inc. and all my music platforms. It's the Wordsmith. It's THE_Wordsmith, and that's big T, lowercase w, because I trademarked it because there's 1,000,001 wordsmiths out there. Yeah. But there's only one, the Wordsmith, with THE_lowercase wordsmith. Understand? But Instagram and all social media platforms for music streaming services, the Wordsmith. YouTube, we got videos pumping. I edit all the videos. My boy MB will shoot them. So we one-stop shop, man. We really busting the heads like. So just get at me. We out here.
Well, man, hey, I appreciate you joining the Process of Hip Hop podcast, man. Best of luck to you in the future, man. When you release your next project, man, have you come back on the show if that's okay with you.
Hey, man, that's love, man, and I appreciate you, man. Much respect, family, and blessings to you and your fam out there, man.
All right, man.